Hey everyone, it's Todd Duncan. Welcome to the Where Success Happens podcast. Our goal every time we do one of these is to share ideas with you that can make a positive difference in how you go forward in life and business, increase your joy, your happiness, your fulfillment. And man, if we can do that, then it's a win-win for everybody. We have a really cool podcast we're about ready to lay down for you. It involves a gal named Toni Van Schoyk, who I met 2.5 years ago, her daughter, Catherine, who I also met 2.5 years ago, and obviously mother and daughter. But this is going to be super inspirational. You're going to see some things that are just going to blow your mind. And I look forward to this. This is the first time we've ever done a mother-daughter kind of, obviously a team, but you're going to be blown away when you understand what that team really means. So I met both of these wonderful women in September of 2018. I was speaking for a global conference with a company by the name of Monat. And this was their annual get together, about 6,000 or 7,000 men and women in the audience. It's a global direct selling organization. And we don't need to get into the products, but it's very, very cool stuff. And Toni, I'll let you take us there. But we've got this neat opportunity to see what does it really look like to begin to go to the top of your game, whatever your game is, no matter what your opportunities are, how do you get to the top? So Toni is an author. She's a speaker. She is probably one of the most renowned direct selling professionals that I've ever had a chance to encounter. We first met, as I said, in Washington, D.C. in 2018. After the conference was over, I was backstage and coming out, and I noticed Toni, a couple other women, and I noticed this really cute young girl. I didn't know her name, Catherine, but she came over, and you can see some of the pictures that we're putting into the podcast right now. If you're watching this, it was one of those moments where I was like blown away because, as you can see by one of the pictures, Catherine was actually in the audience taking notes. And I looked at that and I was thinking, wow, that's crazy. And then I had this moment where I got down on my knees and I looked at Catherine and I asked her what she wanted to do when she grew up. And she had this beautiful vision. And here we are today, 2.5 years later. And I just had a chance to be in Miami and speak for Monat again at Virtual X, their global live stream. And I had a chance to record a video and shoot it to Catherine. And then she shot me a video. Anyway, I could go on forever. But Toni and Catherine, welcome to the podcast. Good to have you.
Thank you so much, Todd, for having us. We're so honored to be here.
So excited.
All right. So I think one of the things that blew me away when we first met, and then Toni in Miami recently, and then looking at a lot of your YouTube videos and what you do to equip people to be successful in business, it's really clear to me that you have like a mindset that is amazing. I think it's transferred to your daughter, Catherine, but when you think about running a global business, and there may be people listening that don't understand direct selling as a model, they don't understand what it looks like to have, business and downlines and payouts and things like that. You're at the top of your game. Talk about how important mindset has been to you as a business leader.
Well, mindset, it really, Todd, is everything. And first of all, I just, before I get involved in that, I just want to say thank you. You've been working with us now since the beginning of the year, and your training has changed us so much and helped us so much. But the one thing that you said on a call that we were on is that, how can I help you win? And I never could articulate exactly what I wanted to convey to people. And that was just that little sentence. And I've started using that more and more in the way that I speak to people. We talk about mindset is everything, because you either can or you can't. And that's exactly the result that you're going to get. So it's so important that you feed your mind daily, and that you're always putting positive things, daily personal development, reading something positive as soon as you get up in the morning, setting your mind with intention, giving gratitude. And that really sets the tone for your entire day. So that's what I have done every morning. I know that, we've taught that to our girls, and Catherine, and I'm not just saying this because, she's my daughter. She truly leaves a mark on every single person that she meets, because she emulates joy. She emulates positivity. And you cannot, you can't even walk by her without smiling and wanting to stop and talk to her. And yes, did she model this after, all of the things that we've been able to do? Absolutely. But she truly, it comes intrinsically for her. And I think that's what makes her so special. But if you don't mind, I would like her to share a little bit about, her mindset and what she does.
Well, I would, first of all, I just want to acknowledge that it is beautiful to hear you say that, because I think that one of the goals that everybody has as a leader, and we'll get into leadership later, but as a mom, as a dad, you want your kids to win, right? You want your kids to develop that kind of same sense of what fires you up. And I want to go back to kind of giving people the scope of what you have built, Toni. But Catherine, from the moment I met you, it was like you were a attitude fountain, just spraying. Like look at a fire hydrant with the top off, and it says attitude. It's just like, I was blown away. Talk to us. You're 13, right?
I am. Yes.
Talk about positivity as a 13-year-old, and give us your insight to that.
So positivity for me means, talking to people, making sure they're okay, because everybody needs that person where they can talk to them. And positivity is one of the things that everybody needs. Positive mindset and no negative self-talk whatsoever. It has to be positive, positive, positive. And everybody just needs that light for them. And I want to be that light. And that light is positivity and showing that I love them.
So let me ask you a question. Every day when you wake up, I know that summer has just started for you, but every day when you wake up, your mom talks about intention and positivity and gratitude. Do you have like a morning ritual as a 13-year-old? Do you have something that you kind of plug into every day that reminds you of being that light and how important it is?
It's first when I wake up, I always go with my dad for a walk. And that is probably what it is for me.
So every morning having time with your dad and kind of setting that intention and
yeah.
With him. What does he do for you in the morning besides just you guys get to experience father-daughter love together? What happens in the morning that he might share with you or help you out that inspires you?
Advice. We always just connect, and whenever we take our walk, we always just take in the scene, because when we go for a walk, we always go to this one place and it's beautiful. There's a pond and everything. There's turtles, and it's joyful, and I just love it.
I can feel it coming out of you, and I can see it effervescing from you, and a joy and beautiful, two really great words. Toni, how intentional has it been to model this for you and your husband, for your girls? I mean, all I had to do was look at the pictures from the first time we met today, and I felt this moment of like, holy cow, this is special. And you and I have come to know each other more since then, but I think every parent in the world would love their kids to have joyful, peaceful, positive, like attitudes as soon as possible in life. Is there anything special about kind of the intention you and your husband had to create a culture in your family where your kids felt like they were winning and that they could conquer and do anything they wanted to?
I think from day one, so my husband got Naomi when she was 6 years old, and he had never been a father before. And then Catherine, we had her back in 2007. But the great thing about it is that we always wanted our children to win at life, but we wanted them to do what really spoke to their heart. We did not want to live vicarious through them. We wanted them to live vicariously through themselves. And I think that was the defining difference, is that you try your hardest. You're not going to understand everything. We're not going to beat ourselves up. We're going to spend time where things bring us joy. So I think we set that intention since day one. You go after your dreams, no matter what or how big or, whatever the case may be. Like, what have you always talked about being?
I've always wanted to be like in the entertainment industry, like more comedy actress, because I want to make people laugh. I want to see their smile on their face because that just makes my day.
So we've supported that dream, and she's known this pretty much since she's been able to walk and talk. So, we've always really gravitated towards what she wants to do, where her interests lie. And I think that's what's really made the difference, is that we didn't try to force her into a mold.
Right. Right. So I think it's interesting right now because there's a lot of people, and even for me, when you and I had a chance recently to connect in Miami, and you told me that it was Catherine's, I think you told me it was Catherine's birthday, right? And when I got that video, because I'd sent a video to Catherine, when I got that video back from Catherine, and Catherine, you were talking about what you wanted to be when you grew up. I sat there with Deb and we just looked at that, and I had to replay it like 4 or 5 times because the clarity, the energy, the positivity, the attractiveness, your spirit. I mean, it was all like, it was the package. And I said, honey, look at this. So what I want to do, Ray, is I want to just real quickly play that video, just put that video in right now with Catherine talking about what she wanted to be when she grew up. And that was a very special moment. Watch this. So, Catherine, when you thought about doing that recording, it seemed like it was really natural to you. When you sent me the video of being in front of the RV and, putting your hands up, look at our background, it was like so natural to you. Is that how you do every day? Like, that seems to be you, right?
It is me, but sometimes it just isn't there, Sometimes it can be hard. And, you want to be on your A game all day, every day, but that's just not the case sometimes. And I always try to be. And usually that is me.
I can feel it. I can see it. And I think it's natural. It's when I watch that video from just 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, I look at that video and it's the same girl I saw 2 years ago in DC. You were as effervescent then as you were today. And Toni, I'm blown away because every parent would love for their kids to experience joy and hopefulness and positivity. And what a role model it's been to watch how Catherine kind of aligns with that. And just, if I could package you in a little bottle, Catherine, I could sell you all over the world for a lot of money because that's how positive you are. I'd like to bottle you and package you and have everybody get a dose of Catherine every day. That's how seriously, that's how I feel about your energy and your focus and all of that. And I love the fact that at age 13, you can say, not every day is like that. Not every day is going to be like a game. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. But the good news about any day is it ends at midnight and you get to start over the next day and, make any improvements you want to make from yesterday and celebrate where you're going to go tomorrow. And that sure seems like the Catherine that I'm watching right now. And I'm very proud of you. It's exceptional to watch your spirit. So Toni, give everybody the scope of your business real quick. I mean, you sent me a text recently that you had hit this like big mark, and that I think in 3 years you wanted to hit this other big mark. You're talking about mindset and you're talking about vision. Your daughter talks about vision. Talk to us a little about your Monat business.
Well, Todd, I launched with the company 7 years ago, so I've been here since the beginning. We knew that it was a great product. We knew the owners and our president very, very well. We built that relationship when we launched in 2014. Since then, we had no idea that it was going to scale as much as it did. And, we grew very quickly with very little tools. And the one thing that made the difference was the fact that I already had, previous experience in the field, in another company for 6 years. We did well, but it wasn't on the level that Monat is at. We actually have been able to change so many millions of people's lives through a safer, cleaner product that just has a great financial opportunity for everyone. But the playing field is it's all leverage. And throughout all of this and doing the personal development and the reading and the listening to podcasts, which she's done, since she's been born, it really has helped because we've gone through some massive issues. We've the bigger you get, the bigger the target. And so more people come after you. We've had to learn how to always look at, the glass is half full, not half empty, right? So it's all about optimism, because even though business, in any business, you have ebb and flow, but it's what you do during those down times that really change the game when you start to rise up again. So a great leader anticipates that there are going to be problems. They are going to anticipate on what to do to get through that problem, to come out on the other side. And there is no doubt, with no question, that you cannot get past through big problems without having the proper mindset and without having that vision. What do I want on the other side? So in respect to what you asked, yes, we just hit a major milestone in our business, but we did that in 6 years. I want to double that in 3. So
talk about needing mindset and needing, courage and consistency and whatnot. And in terms of organizationally, you're at the top of the game, right? I mean, you have built a very, very sizable global business. And I look at that and I look at, you are an everyday, energized human being that wakes up and attacks, and you have joy the way you do it. I watched you present, to Virtual X, and I'm sitting here taking notes, just watching you present, and you have a passion that doesn't have to be manufactured. It's like, it is there. And I think about that, and I think about this idea of mindset, and that we've been working together all year with the senior leadership group at Monat. And one of the things that we are talking about is these principles. And one of the principles that's so important is that success can only be built on failure. And I think a lot of people don't have a positive mindset around failure. Catherine, I'm going to put you on the spot. How do people handle failure if they want to be winners in life?
You're just going to have to take it. I mean, that you have to give yourself some grace always, because you tried your hardest. Now you gotta let it go. You gotta just breathe. And people, when they fail, they don't give themselves that grace time to just breathe. And that's one of the biggest issues. Just cut yourself some slack. I mean, you work so hard. You learn from your failures.
Well, again, none of this is choreographed. If anybody's watching this conversation, it's as raw and real as I just I sent a text to Toni this morning. I said, what do you want to talk about? And it was mindset, consistency, and self-leadership. And here we are. We're just moving with it. And, Catherine, to put you on the spot, but to have you be so articulate about something so young in life, there's a lot of kids that don't grow up understanding the power of failure being a good thing. And there's a lot of parents that don't allow their children to understand the power of failing. And, when you wake up and you don't feel that failure can be a great learning moment for you, you're afraid of taking action. And, when you look at your goal to be in entertainment and to be in stand-up comedy, and you think about how many times does a joke like bottom out, or how many times do you say something you're expecting a whole, group to laugh, and you get a little spittering or spattering of laugh. And, it's like failure and success, they are the same DNA structure, right? One and the one can't happen with the other. And the more you have a one, the more you're going to need the other. And whenever you succeed at a new level, if you want to go to another level, you got to be okay with failure. If we want to go in 3 years, Toni, where we went in 6 years, and we want to do that kind of growth again, that's going to take some vulnerability. It's going to take some risk. It's going to take definitely mindset. And I think the greatest gift that you guys have given the podcast universe, at least from our tribe, is the idea that failure is a really good thing. And you talked about optimism, and there's a book out that I read 22 years ago called Learned Optimism. It was by a guy named Martin Seligman. And he spent a lot of time at the University of Pittsburgh in the happiness study and the whole idea around learned optimism. And one of the things he said, which was very interesting, is he said, when people wake up and they are pessimistic versus waking up and being optimistic, with your analogy of glass half full, glass half empty, the people that see the glass as half full outperform those who see it half empty by a minimum of 42%. And the more positive you are, the more that performance creates even more outcome, because people are attracted to positivity. And in the world in which we live right now, nobody has to go very far to find negativity. I mean, it's pretty much everywhere. And that's why making this mindset choice is so critical. So you both have addressed that. Let's switch to consistency. And I'm going to do this again because it's always a little risky, but I'm going to trust this. So, Catherine, what does consistency mean to you?
Doing something every day, no matter what.
And more than one thing, right? It's like whatever you want, there's a need to what? Do it every day. You said whether you want to or not. Where did that come from?
Honestly, my parents have given me amazing advice my whole life. And a lot of this has stemmed from that advice going into my brain and forming, and then coming out of my mouth.
Well, whatever they have been doing and are doing, it is working. Toni, when you think about consistency, and we think about one of the principles that we are working on with senior leadership at your company is this idea that competence leads to confidence, and then confidence leads to consistency. Tell me about being at the top of the direct selling world, having a massive influence on millions of people's lives. And what are some of the behaviors that you see as a leader that all successful people are consistent at doing? Beyond morning mindset, rhythm, that type of stuff. But what do you see as a leader as you look at your troops, your downline, when you look at the leaders that surround you? What is the message that you feel every day that consistency has brought you and your team? And then what does it do for you guys?
Well, Todd, it all starts with you, right? You have to lead from within. And the one thing, I can't ask my team to do something I'm not willing to do. And so you have to lead by example. That's the bottom line. So every day, reaching out to new people, doing follow-ups, consistently growing your contact list, supporting your teams, having a regular, check-in coaching schedule, everything that I do. And I plan it out quarter, goes from quarter to month to week to day. And we've been consistent with that since the beginning. And I still am, even though, we don't have to work a day in our life again. That's not really what we're all about. You talked about passion. This is my God path, and I'm talking about it right now, and I'm getting angel bumps, but
so am I.
we still do the same thing we did on day one, 7 years later, because it matters to us. And we have so many more people to help and to share this with. I mean, that's what we were put here to do. The best part is that now, Catherine, actually, I don't even have to open up my mouth anymore. She loves sharing with people. And, it makes me so proud that she's not afraid to, ask questions and dive right in and figure out what makes people tick. And that's really what we do. We're professional relationship builders. And I have to care more about that person and what they want from what they need in their life, and how can I help them? That is really how we're wired.
And the consistency becomes habit formation, right? And I think what's interesting, I'd like to hear from both of you on this. I think a lot of people when they think about business, they forget the idea that manufacturing, let's just use that as a loosely held word, manufacturing success should be a regular, rhythmic process where that success assembly line moves every day and it does the same thing every single day, which when you think about it, people say, I'd like to be more spontaneous in business. I'd like to be a little bit more flexible or not have, blocks of time for this or that or whatnot, where in effect, if I create that kind of consistency, that rhythm, you just said it. You don't have to work another day in your life. You have more freedom by following a rhythmic, consistent process than you will ever have by being spontaneous and starting and stopping and, being interrupted and this, that, and the other thing. And it doesn't feel at face value sexy, but anything that is worth it, anything that is big, anything that is significant requires this like boom, 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 boom. And then pretty soon the flywheel takes over and you got more people helping you scale than you did 7 years ago or even 13 years ago when you had, that previous experience. And that's why, because you're consistent as a leader. So what, Catherine, do you see in your mom and what do you see in your own life as to the power of consistency?
My mom every day is like driving a car and she hits that gas to the extent that the car will go. And she will not stop and she will not just say, oh, there's a red light. She'll run that red light. And every day, everybody that wants to be successful, consistent, has to do what she does with that.
Yeah, so I'm the red light thing. I get it. There's a very, very small delta between green, yellow, and red, and I understand. I understand that. But I think the metaphor is your mom does whatever it takes to win, and with high integrity, with high trust, with sensational leadership. That's why you are emulating her in such a modelable and beautiful way. And I think a lot of people give up too soon. I think a lot of people give up. Like one of the rules I have, it's called the 95% rule. And it goes like this: 95% of the people go 95% of the way and they get 5% of what's available. 5% go 100% of the way and they get 95% of what's available. That's the power of consistency. It's people give up too soon. They don't understand the compounding effect. They don't understand that day after day after day, if I do this every single day, at some point, it's going to tip a tipping point and we're going to win. And the people that give up never get to experience that. So that's the power of consistency, right?
Absolutely. It's showing up in some way, shape, or form every single day.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, let's go to our third topic, self-leadership. Self-leadership, the leadership of self. What does that mean to you, Toni?
It's when you do things behind closed doors that you're talking about in, face to face and in public with people. Self-leadership is also having self-discipline. And there's nothing wrong with the word discipline. It is actually a very good word. Because, again, it's about, our morning routine, what we get up and we do every single day, what we do in our afternoon, what we do in our evening to keep moving ourselves forward. And Todd, I love what you said, but I have the 5 pillars: friends, family, faith, fitness, and finances, right? I'm touching on all 5 of those pillars every single day.
Yeah.
And
Same again, real slow.
Sorry. Faith, family, friends, finances, and fitness.
Awesome.
So every single day I'm touching on those 5 pillars in my life because those are what are important to me. And she does have a lot of the same that we have, because she is my daughter, but she also has her own things, like she loves to dance. She's always practicing, her dancing, and she loves her dog and just different things. But our mornings are wired that's where our consistency hits. And that's where we start our day, is to make sure that, and that's all about self-leadership. We're doing this, Monday through Friday, or maybe it's, you take Wednesday off and you're hitting it on Saturday. But you also want and especially in this business model, you want your folks to have a true place that they're actually focused and being consistent on the income producing activities.
Right. No, and self-leadership, you said something that's interesting, that discipline is a very powerful word. And again, if we go back to like ancient scripture, one of the methodologies that when I was young in selling, it was like this idea that and Catherine, this is kind of to your point, when you don't do what you know you're supposed to do, which is discipline, right? You will despise yourself. That is what it says in ancient scripture 6,000 years ago. I don't like the word despise, but I can totally see it, that the longer people don't do what they know would produce a better outcome for them, a better lifestyle experience, the longer you don't do what you know you should do, the harder it is to have a positive self-image and self-esteem. And so when we look at self-leadership, we have to look at, Catherine, to your point, do what you need to do every single day. So I don't think a lot of people, I don't think a lot of adults necessarily have an appreciation for that, like maybe you do. So what's a 13-year-old mind say about self-leadership?
You influence people to a great extent. You are leading people with you. You aren't giving yourself excuses. You aren't giving other people excuses. And you aren't being a mushy pile. You aren't letting people walk all over you too. You're just telling them, hey, this is what you need to do. And that's what I think self-leadership is.
I love it.
You too.
Me too. Yeah.
Well, I love the fact that at age 13, you say that your parents give you great advice. And I can tell you right now that it is obviously working. And I predict, and I think I said this on the video that your mom showed you a couple months ago. I think I said, I predict greatness for you. And I think you can do anything you put your mind to. And now I know that that's how you think. And to see the joy in your face and to understand your passion and thirst as a 13-year-old, I don't think I even really got that until I was 16. And the only reason I got it is because I got a book from my grandma that was entitled Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude. And that was my first exposure to like positivity. And then when I was in my early 20s, I really started understanding that there's two types of people, positive and negative. And the negative people take me down and the positive people pull me up. I'm choosing positivity. And I've always been a glasses half full kind of guy now, because there's power in everything that doesn't go according to plan. Everything that doesn't work like we thought it would work, if we have the right attitude and we have the right mindset and we see the good, right? I have a lesson I did 25 years ago called silver lining living, meaning that in every moment of gray clouds, there's silver lining, there's something positive. And you guys have, especially you, Catherine, you've really embraced that. So we got about a minute left, and I'm gonna ask Catherine, if somebody came up to you like I'm about to do and asks you, what's the number one thing you would advise millions of people who want to be successful to do, what would you say?
You need to get your mindset in check before you do anything. And that means personal development, personal growth, and you need to be doing everything you can to get your mindset in the place where it needs to be. And that includes things that you love doing and people that you love. And surround yourself with the people that you love, because they'll influence you to be successful.
Perfect. Toni, what's your answer to the same question?
I would say, first of all, love yourself, believe in yourself. And if you need that belief built up or you need to be held accountable, find someone that's going to do that for you. A lot of times what we see is The biggest challenge is that people don't have the belief or the confidence that they can achieve their dreams and their goals. Well, find yourself a personal dream builder that will build with you. And and of course, what you're feeding into your mind, it's so important to do that first thing in the morning, whether you're doing devotions or personal development, it's so vastly important to set your day up for success.
Yeah, and how you enter the day determines often how the day is going to go. And if you start off negative, it's going to go bad fast. And if you start off positive, you're going to be able to handle some of the stuff that isn't part of the plan. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna say something right now, that accountability is not punitive. Accountability and having accountability, personal accountability, professional accountability, marital partner accountability, even father-daughter or mother-daughter accountability, each way. Accountability is the most powerful growth ingredient there is. And if you set goals and at the end of setting goals, you don't answer a question, and the question is by when. If you don't answer that question and you set goals, you're going to take too long to accomplish the goals, and you may not even finish them at all. But when you have a by when, like by this date, I'm going to have this done, and you put some discipline to the daily, as Toni said, income producing activities, then all it is about doing that every single day. And pretty soon you arrive and you go, okay. And now all that was a daily decision, daily behavior of accountability. And if you know what you're doing, you know why you're doing it, you know the lives of the people you're influencing, you will hold yourself accountable. Some of the goals are big enough where you need somebody else to hold you accountable. Share your goals, share your vision, share your dream, share the steps to your dream, and then have somebody work with you every other week and just have a conversation about how can I do this better? And there is nothing more important than feeling that you have success outcomes to raise the floor and help you go even further. And to Catherine's point early on, you got to see failure as positive. You can't see it as negative. And the people that make failure their friend go further than those that make failure their foe. Pretty straightforward. Mother-daughter team, Toni and Catherine, good to have you guys on our podcast. 40 minutes of just beautiful stuff. And we wish you nothing but the best. Toni, I know we'll be in touch. Catherine, I'm confident we're going to be in touch as you continue to navigate life. And what an inspiration you are to the world, obviously, and what an inspiration you are to me today. So thank you for doing this. And I wish you guys a great, great celebration this weekend and enjoy. And Catherine, you're a blessing to my life. And Toni, you obviously are. She wouldn't be here without you. So thanks, Catherine. Thanks, Toni. Best wishes.
Thank you so much for having us on. It was a joy.